Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
What people do in no money, what they at you, in no at you. Covid money, miss away in the year, look rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste for most of the statue. Say me like a cashew, but me got enough, they got you. Take this spit of money, God, and say that is not you. One day, the man above him, up him, I got a bed. Too much it in the kitchen, some fly by like a patu. My singers and DJs and such a need that's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them
It
raise.
burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth the rapper they down in our river. Member bowl money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the sun man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't.
Stibby-dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep. And some informer friend we lovely. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, and welcome to Global Television Group. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning to YouTube. And yes, we have full live access on our backup page on TikTok. So keep topping up the screen so the signal goes out to more viewers. to my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Marcia Thomas. Good morning. Jamrack 8766, Sharon Bernard, Sheena Kelly, Joan Darkin, Sabina Sarkody, Olimar Pressfield, Rose, Monica Hawthorne, Althea, Daphne Jackson Marjorie. Good morning, and welcome. Like and share the live, please. Let me see who is on TikTok. Jamaican Politics TV. Debbie and Duncan, good morning. Top up the screen for us, please, so more people can know that we're on TikTok. Colin, good morning, and welcome. Is Jamaica in problem? The small hand Secretary Rubio has called the Jamaican Prime Minister. Not me, really, though, saying Secretary Rubio hand is small. It was said by President Trump. But given the war path that the presidency 47 is on, whoever POTUS 47 sends his poodle out to speak to, then you know there's a concern, something you have to give up, something you have to roll back, something you have to obey or agree to. Beverly Morgan, Fiona Burnett. So it's important, but me don't know if the Prime Minister is going to tell us, for that matter, what was the conversation about with US and Jamaica and that telephone call. Coupled with that, the Prime Minister was like the Prime Minister and his delegation travel separately to CARICOM. I mean, I don't know if when him reach the Marco Rubio, dry him up or whatever. But this is something that we're going to look at more in our geopolitical slot later on this evening. The US-China-Jamaica relationship, kerfuffle, fallout, tension, whatever it will turn out to be. But I've always been saying to you, Jamaica is locked in a geopolitical rivalry between the United States and China. And you can extend that to BRICS, but China is the major feature because that is the BRICS powerhouse that really irritates Donald Trump. And anyway, Donald Trump send Rubio, you know there's some form of threat. Debbie Jervis TV, Wagwan. You know there's some form of threat, something you have to give up, or some rules you have to follow. But if it is what we are thinking about, the Jamaica-China relationship, then of course, President Trump, as a person who cannot keep his mouth, is really going to splutter in public. So even if Andrew Holness don't want to tell the Jamaican people what the conversation with Secretary Rubio was about, then at some point, Donald Trump might just splutter it in public. But we are hinging on the China-Jamaica relationship. We don't know if the call concerning Darrell Vaz and his behavior. We don't know if it concerning Horace Chang, the Minister of National Security without a diplomatic visa, and his woeful way of fighting crime. You see. So there could be taunt amount of things that Marco Rubio called Andrew Holness about. What is alarming, though, for Jamaica as a poodle country, and I mean the very lower poodle scale, Jamaica as a poodle country is contacted within weeks of President Trump taking his presidency, then I would see that as a concern, because you normally deal with the big influential countries that really matters. But as President Trump is on an economic warpath, and Jamaica port hub and geographical location is important to that war, given his war is mainly with China when it comes to the economic front. He's really having it with everybody. But China is President Trump's real bother. And China has and is gaining a very strong foothold in Jamaica. No American president really likes that. President Trump, for sure, if you follow his mood and behavior, is quite unlikely to tolerate. Kayamari Wagwan, you all right? So we're waiting to see if the Prime Minister is going to be honest with us, or Donald Trump will have to come out and tell us what it's really about, or if there's any weight put on Jamaica to make a particular decision to roll back. Because you saw when Rubio went to Panama, no sooner has he got there, Panama ripped up certain deals with China that they will not push themselves into. So there's a lot going on between Jamaica and China. Jamaica had the investment amount of what China does in the Caribbean. So it could go all sort of direction, but it is one to watch out for. But as I said, this evening in the geopolitical slot, we're going to look more at US, China, Jamaica kerfuffle. At the same time, though, Blind Aga is on the warpath. He's making threats all over the place. What am I going to do with you? The minister's making threat. Hold on, just check my Instagram. Yeah, WhatsApp. The minister, police sees more than 60 guns, 500 rounds at Kingston Wharf. Hold on there. Well, minister, did somebody jump into my thingy? Minister Blind Aga is on the warpath and he's making threats. You know, Horace Chang always turned the thing up. Always turn the thing up. Always threatening you to either carry you in on a stretcher, to either meet your judge or your maker, to shoot first and ask questions after. It begs me to wonder if wanton brutality by the Jamaica Constabulary Force has now become a crime plan of the government, because so far we're yet to see a meaningful crime plan from the government. But still it, Horace Chang and Andrew, the least opportunity them get, I threaten with. Let us listen to Minister Blind Aga.
I've seen, I would have how audio demonstration, the quality of training given to our bike riders in the car team. Mr. Mackenzie is here.
And bear in mind, I am not bilingual, so I won't be able to translate for you if you do not understand the language the doctor speaks in. I am not bilingual. I will not be able to translate for you. So I hope you understand what the minister says.
I've seen, I would have how audio demonstration, the quality of training given to our bike riders in the car team. Mr. Mackenzie is here. So I have no fear that once these bikes are on the road, we'll find them, whether they're Yang or big bikes. We'll find them. We'll identify them. And while we don't have all the cameras loaded, we have quite a few. Some of them we use them only for research, but we can identify them. Wherever they go, we'll find them and we'll bring them in, one way or the other. Whether we bring them in the pickup that come behind us in the car, I don't want to come on a stretcher, it's their business. I don't promise that, right? But we'll find them and bring them in. And I think they need to understand that.
I think that bit was spoken in Jamaica. Whether they want to come in the pickup Jeep behind us or they want to come on a stretcher, said the doctor, I really don't mind that. It's not my problem, he said. I'm quite happy to take them in such a condition, said the doctor. What a threat.
I've seen, I would have how audio demonstration, the quality of training given to our bike riders in the car team. Mr. Mackenzie is here. So I have no fear that once these bikes are on the road, we'll find them, whether they're Yang or big bikes. We'll find them. We'll identify them. And while we don't have all the cameras loaded, we have quite a few. Some of them we use them only for research, but we can identify them. Wherever they go, we'll find them and we'll bring them in, one way or the other. Whether we bring them in the pickup that come behind us in the car, I don't want to come on a stretcher, it's their business. I don't promise that, right? But we'll find them and bring them in. And I think they need to understand that the basis of any successful hard policy is that you know the criminals, you go for them. So you don't impair the rights of anyone. We do it without SOE as well. The commissioners have initiated the thing called focused deterrence. It's not a hit squad we have here. That used to be that's things of the past they can write in history. Structure that identifies individuals who are involved in criminal activity and build the files around them. Like we do. If I have a patient in hospital that look for all that was happening to him for the last, from born, whether they have vaccine or not until him come, or whether they will have him had flu or whether it is whatever it is here, you build a case so you can treat him properly. The police do the same thing. And that's all it means. And it is working very well. The commend the team, and that's police activity. I don't get involved in operation, but I get to understand it because I have some very good officers. When they brief me not only clearly, but in a rational, logical way. So I understand it. And they develop the cases so they know them. And I can say to you out there, you let the criminals know, the police know them. And when the case is built, they go for them.
Good morning, you.
And when they hear they're coming, I advise them, please come in. We'll make sure you're treated well and go to the courts. We have a very conservative and a very good court system. And they have money, they hire the lawyers, that's their business. We have no problem, but they have to behave themselves. If they don't, we bring them in. And that's at the police, we still bring them in, maybe in another form. But we'll find them as they build out their intelligence, their investigative capacity, and of course, their physical capacity. And underlying all of that is the fact that in providing those physical facilities is not what the best solution is that I think the police force, by virtue of providing them with the tools and stop accusing them of all kinds of things. They abuse police officers, human rights. We have less, we still come up from time to time. But the fact to prevent that, you have to have a complete police force. You have to have the intelligence, the investigators, individuals who will apprehend the heavily armed criminals. You can't send a man out there in with kid gloves, but talk to a man with a bomb, with an AK-47, supported by a 45 in them waist, and you tend to go out and talk to him nicely when he's gonna kill somebody first. I don't want it.
You see the problem I have with this statement, Dr. Chang. I have evidence, Dr. Chang, that you imported rather, a container of AK-47s into the country. It's double talking, Dr. Chang, if you talk about bad man with AK-47 when you are the supplier, Dr. Chang. As the globalist says, do no harm, doctor. But all this doctor does is threaten violence at whatever opportunity he gets to do so.
And underlying all of that is the fact that in providing those physical facilities is not what the best solution is that I think the police force, by virtue of providing them with the tools and stop accusing them of all kind of things. They abuse police officers, human rights. We have less, but still come up from time to time. But the fact to prevent that, you have to have a complete police force. You have to have the intelligence, the investigators, individuals who will apprehend the heavily armed criminals. You can't send a man out there in with kid gloves, but talk to a man with a bomb, with an AK-47, supported by a 45 in them waist, and you tend to go out and talk to him nicely when he's gonna kill somebody first. I don't want it. I don't want any of the commissioners, senior officers have to go to a house to talk to a gentleman's wife with a police officer. I think other side, is that something that is easy for anybody? I went to one family in Stony Hill. For anybody else with the police force or the institution, it's a tough thing. When the father leaves home to protect others, and him find the next day somebody come to tell him his children and his family, they're gone. So that body, if they draw gun in the police, we have to get to them. Another issue of
another problem I spot with you, Dr. Chan. You're speaking in a very misogynistic way because the Labour Party love to talk about misogyny. Or are you being a misogynoir, Dr. Chan? Because you continuously speaking as if the Jamaica Constabulary Force only involve male police officer. I want you to listen carefully again. If Dr. Chang is not speaking as if the Jamaica Constabulary Force is about male police only, are you a misogynist, Dr. Chang?
Their investigative capacity and, of course, their physical capacity. And underlying all of that is the fact that in providing those physical facilities is not what the best solution is that I think the police force, by virtue of providing them with the tools and stop accusing them of all kind of things. They abuse police officers, human rights. We have less, but still come up from time to time. But the fact to prevent that, you have to have a complete police force. You have to have the intelligence, the investigators, individuals who will apprehend the heavily armed criminals. You can't send a man out there in with kid gloves, but talk to a man with a bomb, with an AK-47, supported by a 45 in them waist, and you tend to go out and talk to him nicely when he's gonna kill somebody first. I don't want it. I don't want any of the commissioners, senior officers have to go to a house to talk to a gentleman's wife with a police officer.
To go to a gentleman's house to talk to his wife? Or is it that your female officers are not on the front line, Dr. Chang? Why is it not a wife or a husband to explain that their partner have met XYZ? Continue.
I think other side, is that something that is easy for anybody? I went to one family in Stonehill. For anybody else with the police force or the institution, it's a tough thing. When the father leaves home to protect others, and him find the next day somebody come to tell him his children and his family, they're gone. So
the father leave home to protect other. It's like no female, no work. But then again, one of the cancel genderism in the JCF, one don't refer to females anymore. So maybe it's one of Dr. Chang degenderization of women in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, because Dr. Chang is coming across here to me as a misogynist. Him just a conversate like it's only men that works in the JCF. It's only men can meet such fatality. We know them more chigga happy than everybody else. That's true. But I know them one. Head teacher K, morning, welcome. How are you?
body, if they drug on the police, we have to get to them. Not an issue of when or how. So we advise them come in, we know the only
right. JFJ have a conversation about wanton police brutality as well, which, as you know, I've always said, they have selective memory in how they address things, but nevertheless, they do. But what the conversation Dr. Chang is refusing to have is body-worn cam. Because with CCTV, them, Dr. Chang, same one tell us them now work. Kathy, how are you? Dr. Chang, same one tell us them now work. But Dr. Chang is expecting us to believe that there's no...
The Sergeant Security Force fatal shootings.
There is no value in police officers wearing body cam. And at the same time, CCTV broke down. We don't understand what Dr. Chang try to hide. But let's listen to the hypocrite Jamaican for justice.
The Sergeant Security Force fatal shootings has reached an alarming and quite frankly intolerable number. The year-to-date total of police fatal shootings more than doubles the figure for the same period in 2024. This sharp increase is deeply concerning and unacceptable in a democracy. It is certainly unacceptable when one considers Jamaica's population size. If this trend persists, Jamaica risks regressing to the dark days before the establishment of Indicom, when accountability for such incidents was virtually non-existent. If this trend persists, Jamaica risks eroding the gains that we have made since the establishment of Indicom, and certainly the gains that we have made in human rights for the past decade. If this trend persists, we see the possibility of us recording significantly high number of police fatal shootings, the highest that we have seen in over a decade, because since the start of 2025, almost every single day, we have seen at least one citizen killed by a member of the security force. Again, if this trend persists, it suggests that we are at risk of having over 250 citizens killed by the security force at the end of 2025. We cannot allow this rollback of progress to continue unchecked. No, JFJ makes no pronouncements that these matters are all extrajudicial killings, because we deal and look at these situations on a case-by-case basis. However, there are concerns to be had. When we look at the Indicom press releases and the Indicom's incident reports, as they report them, we see a standard line. No body-worn cameras were recorded as being issued or worn by the officers assigned to these various operations. We have heard from the JCF leadership that data storage infrastructure is needed to be strengthened to have increased body-worn cameras be procured and deployed. However, we must demand a timeline from the JCF's leadership. We have also been told by the JCF's leadership that 750 body-worn cameras are already deployed and are being utilized. The reasonable question that one should put forward: where are the body-worn cameras in these incidents that have resulted in fatalities? We cannot allow this rollback of progress to continue unchecked. Urgent action is needed to address this crisis and uphold justice and transparency. We must uphold the rule of law, notwithstanding the high crime rate. In fact, it is in times such as these that the rule of law is what must govern our country at all times.
Dr. Chang doesn't really care much about body-worn cameras because Dr. Chang doesn't see much benefit in body-worn cameras. But Dr. Chang says you can come in the back of a police jeep or you can come on a stretcher, says the doctor. Do no harm. It is your choice. It is your choice. Come in the back of a jeep, or if you choose a stretcher, says the doctor, we really don't mind. I'll give you whatever of the two you choose, says the doctor. I go play it for now again because to me talk things in my own. To me talk things in my own way. One will believe that things may make up upon the doctor. Yeah? But listen to the doctor carefully again. As I said to you, I'm not bilingual. I tend not to understand much of what the doctor says. But thanks for the rose, Kathy. But there are a few bits and pieces that the minister has spoken in clear Jamaican that we can understand. So, let us listen to the doctor once more, telling us how, if we not behave, what am I going to do with it?
I've seen, I would observe how audio demonstration, the quality of training given to our bike riders in the QR team. So Mackenzie is here. So I have no fear that once these bikes are on the road, we'll find them, whether they're on Yang or big bikes. We'll find them. We'll identify them. And while we don't have all the cameras out there, we have quite a few. Some of them we use them only for research, but we can identify them. Wherever they go, we'll find them and we'll bring them in, one way or the other. Whether we bring them in the pickup that come behind us in the car, I don't want to come on a stretcher. It's their business. I don't promise that, right? But we'll find them and bring them in.
Their business. I don't mind what the doctor is saying. Choose your fate this day, because I, the doctor do no harm, is prepared to administer whichever you choose.
And we'll bring them in, one way or the other. Whether we bring them in the pickup that come behind us in the car, I don't want to come on a stretcher. It's their business. I don't promise that, right? But we'll find them and bring them in. And I think they need to understand that the base of it is successful hard policing is that we know the criminals, you go for them. So you don't impair the rights of anyone. We do it without SOE as well. The commissioners have initiated the thing called focus deterrence. It's not a hit squad we have here. That used to be that's things of the past you can write in history. Structure that identifies individuals who are involved in criminal activity and build the files around them, like we do. If I have a patient in hospital that look for all that was happening to him for the last 1 month, whether they have vaccine or not, until him come, or whether they will have him had flu or whether it is whatever it is, yeah, you build a case, you can treat him properly. The police do the same thing. That's all it means. And it is working very well. They commend the team, and that's police activity. I don't get involved in operation, but I get to understand it because I have some very good officers. When they brief me not only clearly but in a rational, logical way. So I understand it. And they develop the cases so they know them. And like I said to you out there, you let the criminals know, the police know them. And when the case is built, they go for them. And when they hear they're coming, I advise them, please come in. We'll make sure you're treated well and go to the courts. We have a very conservative and a very good court system. And yet they have money, they hire the lawyers, that's their business. We have no problem, but they have to behave themselves. If they don't, we bring them in. And if they attack the police, we still bring them in, maybe in another form. But we'll find them as they build out their intelligence, their investigation.
Mr. Lindo, good morning, cuz. Welcome to my TikTok live. Good morning. Wagwan. Keep tapping up the screen. Don't be lazy. Keep tapping up the screen.
To get their capacity, and of course, their physical capacity. And underlying all of that.
Just like how me keep playing the doctor and listen to him from morning because me can't understand him one time when we listen. May I hope una make Colleen welcome. May I hope una make help listen, see if una understand some of the things the doctor says, because I do not always understand the doctor. There are some things that the doctor says that you can understand, but not all of it. But go and listen, because threaten them a threaten way.
I've seen, and would have the audio demonstration, the quality of training given to our bike riders in the QR team. So Mackenzie's here. So I have no fear that once these bikes are on the road, we'll find them, whether they're young or big bikes. We'll find them. We'll identify them. And while we don't have all the cameras loaded, we have quite a few. Some of them we use them only for research, but we can identify them. Wherever they go, we'll find them and we'll bring them in, one way or the other. Whether we bring them in the pickup that come behind us in the car, I don't want to come on a stretcher. It's their business. I don't promise that, right? But we'll find them and bring them in. And I think they need to understand that the base of it is successful hard policing is that we know the criminals, you go for them. So you don't impair the rights of anyone. We do it without SOE as well. The commissioners have initiated a thing called focus deterrence. It's not a hit squad we have here. That used to be that's things of the past. They can write
Please welcome.
Structure that identifies individuals who are involved in criminal activity and build the files around them. Like we do. I have a patient in hospital that look for all that was happening to him for the last from born. With them have vaccine or not until him come where they will have him had flu or whether it is whatever it is, yeah, you build a case so you can treat him properly. The police do the same thing. That's all it means. And it is working very well. They commend the team and that's police activity. I don't get involved in operation, but I get to understand it because I have some very good officers. When they brief me not only clearly, but in a rational, logical way. So I understand it. And they develop the cases so they know them. And like I said to you out there, you let the criminals know, the police know.
You can teach if you want drop down because that's something media do and it send you the invite, all right?
And when the case is built, they go for them. And when they hear they're coming, I advise them, please come in. We'll make sure you're treated well and go to the courts. We have a very conservative and a very good court system. And yet they have money, they hire the lawyers, that's their business. We have no problem, but they have to behave themselves. If they don't, we bring them in. And if they attack the police, we still bring them in, maybe in another form. But we'll find them as they build out their intelligence, their investigative capacity, and of course, their physical capacity. And underlying all of that is the fact that in providing those physical facilities is not what the best solution is that I think the police force, by virtue of providing them with the tools and stop accusing them of all kind of things. They abuse police officers, human rights. We have less, but still come up from time to time. But the fact to prevent that, you have to have a complete police force. You have to have the intelligence, the investigators, individuals who will apprehend the heavily armed criminals. You can't send a man out there with kid gloves, but talk to a man with a bomb, with an AK-47. supported by a 45 of them waist, and you tell him to go out and talk to him nicely when he's gonna kill somebody first. I don't want it. I don't want any of the commissioners, senior officers have to go to a house to talk to a gentleman's wife who is a police officer.
You know what to fix that.
The other side, is that something that is easy for anybody? I went to one family in Stony Hill. For anybody that saw the police force, our institution, it's a tough thing. When the father leaves home to protect others, and him find the next day somebody come to tell him his children and his family, they're gone. So that body, if they draw a gun in the police, we have to get to them. Not an issue of when or how. So we advise them come in, we know the only.
It is really hard to understand Dr. Chang, but all I can hear are threats of violence. Me trouble my TikTok screen, and I don't know how to fix it back, but we will learn in time. Morning beat and teach while go on. Me trouble my TikTok screen, and I don't know how to fix it back because I can't barely see anything on it at the moment, but never mind, we will fix it back one other day. All me can hear are threats of violence. Given that this man is a doctor, swear to do no harm, he has never given the country a crime policy. Whenever time the Prime Minister or the Minister of National Security speak in public on these matters, it is always violent threats, as if everybody must go off in fear. Dr. Chang, you cannot threaten your way into fighting crime. That's not how it works. There's many other things that you can do, but maybe because you can't travel, you can't go into other country, go look and see, or go talk to them and things like that. But you really, Dr. Chang, cannot just continue going around threatening people at all points. Given that one of the dangers are you are one of the person who is highly involved in illegal gun trade. You are highly involved in the gang and scamming situations in Montego Bay, Dr. Chang. It's not good that you should only just come out and continue to make bare threats. That's all we can get from the doctor. Hold on there. Darrell Vaz come out, and Darrell Vaz, I don't even think I have this in thing here. But you know the usual blah, 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 blah from Darrell Vaz. It's really nothing more than the blah, 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 blah. What they're not actually responding to are facts that was presented to them, rather than dallying around the issue. Jamaica Labour Party, something has surfaced in public when it comes to the matter of Usain Bolt and other investors' money that went like butter against sun. Threatening lawsuits doesn't answer a question. What you need to do is answer the questions posed to you. That is what people are expecting. That is the pure expectation. Holness, stand resilient, independent. independent amid global crisis. Lord, me hear the man you talk about responsible for our own security. Ah, Jesus, I can't I really can't go through the things of Andrew Holness because they're an awful lot to go through. Remember, it was in Parliament Darrell Vaz stood sometime last year and told us that people were lying on him when them say Darrell Vaz made a threat in public to slash whoever throat. We don't know. It's Darrell Vaz did it, it wasn't me. But what Darrell Vaz is doing again is trying to, which they always do, is gaslight the public. Everything is a lie. It's a conspiracy. It's fake news. It's AI. Nothing is true. It's the same thing when it comes to do with the new social housing and the indigent housing. Even though we could point out to them the areas in which you lied or the areas which are contradictory, them still don't do something there. Them still cannot accept that the words that we heard from you, that's what we are using. And in those words, we know that people are losing their lands. The government said it's a lie. The Prime Minister said it's a lie. Desmond McKenzie said it's a lie. Now we're finding out that Mr. Bolt's asset belonging to SSL have been transferred to member of Darrell Vaz's family. Darrell Vaz said it's a lie. Why don't you counter with evidence and stop make up the hope of lies? Darrell Vaz is one who historically is always in a problem when it comes to land and property. Personally, I weren't aware that he was an investor in SSL. So one could say Darrell maybe put a caveat on the property because he's one of the investors as well. What this would appear to be is the minister, like Andrew Holness, using his family to hide wealth. Not only hiding wealth, Darrell Vaz, but hiding stolen wealth. Stolen wealth, Mr. Vaz. And let's remind you of the information that came out a couple days ago, because Darrell Vaz said it's a lie. It's a lie. This video is very low, but we're going to keep reminding Darrell Vaz until them get it. Bear with. This video is low, but bear with.
Hugh Mommy, stop right there. Hugh Mommy. Shannon Vaz. And just humor me. Why is it the thing that you
the highlights in the green? Was that the work of your producer? Because it leads shadow bars related to Darrell and Anne-Marie Bars. That's all I'm asking.
Repeat that.
Is shadow bars related to Darrell and Anne-Marie Vaz? That's what I'm asking.
It is
a peculiar name, so that's why I asked.
It is said she's the daughter-in-law of the Vazes.
Fall out! Whoa! We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why not travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.
Just let me get something before you do. Portland, wake up, wake up, cause this need crowd. Tell me something. There's a thing when it comes to collection after that Nigel Clark thing about not transferring assets. The purpose of that is there's a thing about redeem up, foreclose down in terms of creditors. So people who have money in what can now be said to be a Ponzi scheme. So this is like some cash pot kind of scheme where SSL is not to transfer property, you're not to sell it, gift it, remove it. So there's a tracing element, and unless there is a purchaser for value with a third party purchaser that doesn't know the innocent purchaser for value, then the tracing of the property would mean that this by way of gift would be problematic if it was transferred after SSL got itself in hot water and the whole thing. But I don't want to discuss too much, but is that what you're saying?
Repeat that. I was.
You know. Now I see why the Justice Minister was saying if your family members are do things, don't tell the Integrity Commission. I got it now. Continue, do what you're doing. This is what you call the disenfranchisement of the Jamaican people. So when I had said that there was really a definition of Vazism on the seat for itself, continue.
So how was this done? The transfer. It was done via a holding company called SSL4 out of St. Lucia. I don't think Jamaica heard. Jamaica, how was this done? A holding company in St. Lucia called SSL. Get what I'm getting at tonight, you know. How is the shareholdership of the two companies, the two owners, the shareholders? 800%, 800 shares, and 800 shares. No, this is a serious matter tonight, Jamaica. Just like how it happened with the Prime Minister. You remember? At Martin St. Lucia transferring Whitecliff Close to Estate Bridge. You remember how that was facilitated? When I say I'm freezing up, even if I'm freezing up tonight, Jamaica, we're doing what we need to do. Why did the Financial Services Commission, under the leadership of Nigel Clark and the Holness administration, facilitated a transfer of SSL assets? Why did the Financial Services Commission in this country facilitated a transfer of SSL assets? Have you ever seen anything like this before, Jamaica? So therefore, they no longer own that asset. What other asset do they no longer hold, Jamaica? I'm going to ask you again. They no longer own 33 and a half, So the property is owned by what? Symbol Limited. And Symbol Limited, owned by who? Linda and Shannon Vaz.
Yes, Jason and Shannon. It's a similar case of estate bridge, you would say, because politicians use their family to hide ill-gotten wealth. That's why I don't see why the PNP, with this unearthing, not calling on Delroy Chuck to resign, because the Jamaica Labour Party is having a resign Ferrari across the country, where if you walk too lean, Marlon Morgan asks you to resign. They're asking Dr. Campbell to resign. They're asking Swaby and others to resign. But you have to set some example, Marlon Morgan. You have to set example. The Norman Brown situation, the Prime Minister's situation was way before that. And Honor denounced the fact that there was nothing for the Prime Minister or Norman Brown to resign about, or Mayor Feather for that matter. You can't keep being so hypocritical every day, because we know the whole are corrupt, both Labour and PNP. But it is somewhat hypocritical of Marlon Morgan to be just going around every day asking for people's resignation. Set the example, Marlon Morgan. And then you can say, look, this is the example we set. And please, let me remind you, don't use Dalrymple. Because instead Dalrymple left as a thief, she came back as a thief. She's now been convicted as a criminal. And she still come back selling rather potato. So don't use Dalrymple as an example. Don't use Everard Warmington as an example either, because remember it was a big fight between Andrew and Everard. For Andrew get rid of him. So don't use that example. But what you need to do is to come out here and address, because one on a conference on a talk about governance issue, but your issue of governance, Marlon, and that's back to your press conference where you're on Currency and Morrison and Donovan Williams came out. That press conference was addressing governance issues. It's a bit hypocritical, though, that with so much breaking away in the Jamaica Labour Party, because when I see that it was about addressing governance issues, then I would have thought that you were going to address some issues of the Jamaica Labour Party. Then all I heard was waddle away of what the PNP does and what responsibility they must take and what they must do, who they must remove. It's kind of a back to front situation, because if you're addressing issue of governance, that should be more central to the Jamaica Labour Party at the moment, because they are in governance. They are the decision makers. But you cannot keep asking others to resign when the same issue that sparks the issue of resignation in your party, and you turn a blind eye like these are non-issues. We're talking about the Prime Minister's statutory declaration. We're talking about the Prime Minister's ill-gotten, uncertified asset. We're talking about the Prime Minister transferring his wealth to his son in order to continue the estate bridge development to absolve the Prime Minister of accountability. We're talking about the conflict of interest with the Prime Minister and Norman Brown, who sits on two-state board. Those are matter of governance, Marlon Morgan, that the people were expecting you to address, not to go around telling the other party what to do. Because the two are not corrupt. The two are a bunch of festered so-and-so. It is not that PNP nothing clear up them wrangles in public or be honest with the people. But the things you're calling for, Marlon Morgan, make somebody with have integrity. Make somebody will have political integrity or is a member of a party that has political integrity. Marlon Morgan. When you look at the amount of gangrines, political gangrene in the Jamaica Labour Party that you hold on to for dear life, the Jamaica Labour Party would have been more popular in the poll if it wasn't because of the battered credibility of the Prime Minister, toppled by high cost of living, lies and smoke screens, and all of that by the Prime Minister. So, what I would advise you to do, take the time to do some house clearing, Mr. Morgan, because we really need some housekeeping over there. The racism, Mr. Morgan, in the Jamaica Labour Party, it's not something that we can say that, oh, something like that doesn't exist. No, we know that it exists. We see how much members of the Jamaica Labour Party deploy racist rhetoric on a day-to-day basis from the other side of Jamaica. And a lot of the members of the Jamaica Labour Party are of the same or similar persuasion of the leader of opposition. My volume get low and high. Let me check my mic that it's... I'm using the right mic, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm using the right mic, though. So, I think Marlon Morgan needs to do some house clearing before him really come out here and keep asking members of the other party to resign, because hearing you loud and clear. Okay, it's okay, my side. Refresh your system, Wayne Evans. Close the app and come back, open it again. Do some house clearing, Mr. Morgan. You really need that, because there's tantamount of debacle in the party at the moment where it's even affecting the Prime Minister's confidence in calling an election, given that the Prime Minister and whoever else across the road there is gaslighting him with a poll to say how much the people would have voted for him and how the sliced bread effect has not gone from him. But we're months away from a general election, and the major debacle in the party of positioning still has not solved. The Prime Minister have a lot of placements to do when it comes to seats. Tantamount of it. And it's becoming more and more problematic. You see how support has dwindled away from Marlene Malaho Fort. You see the debacle, the double debacle in Clarendon. You see the debacle of Manchester, the debacle of St. Andrew. Many different placement issues for the Prime Minister. Delegates are withdrawing their support from some people, which make it kind of a pressure for the government in his positioning. One of the things which is becoming more clear, and if you remember the Rosalie Hamilton voice note, it was that what the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, has been reduced to. I wonder if I can find Rosalie. What the Prime Minister has been reduced to is going around the country canvassing for votes himself, which, if you listen to Rosalie Hamilton, it is not what a leader ought to be doing. Not at all what a leader ought to be doing. But we see, and we're going to listen to Rosalie Hamilton before we listen to Andrew Holness. We see where the Prime Minister even gets on a stage speaking to tourism workers, and all the Prime Minister is concerned about is begging. Begging. That's all the Prime Minister is concerned about, because the Prime Minister tap seemed to have been broken, because the Prime Minister told us, I can turn it up and I can turn it down at my choosing, said the Prime Minister. But I think we're in the season now, Prime Minister, where it ought to be turned up. Come on, TikTok, tap up the screen. Keep tapping up the screen. And I do well, but keep tapping it up. And share the live. Tap it up and share the live. Tap it up and share the live. And before we listen to Rosalie, my producer Wayne Global have full live access now. This is the channel that I will be hosting free speech debate on with rules. So at some point we will start to have discussions on topical issues on this channel, but that will come in the future. Let's listen to Rosalie before we go to the Prime Minister and his begging bowl.
TC, you know, I observed everybody in this party And one thing I can tell you, I am a keen observer. You see, when me talk is when I choose to talk. I like to observe. It's 3 years ago, I stood up at Pembroke School and said to the people, to the party, we're not going in the wrong direction. Going in the wrong direction doesn't mean in government. I said the party. Meaning the MPs have no respect for the people that elect them. And they becomes God unto themselves. And them deal with people anyhow, and them feel like, and listen, it don't matter who the person is. When you're in a party, it don't matter what status you have. You are a party member, and you are supposed to be treated like everybody else. The leader of the party, the chairman, the deputy chairman, the general secretary, those are leadership of the party. And not even them any respect is shown to. And I talked to them and I told them that, listen, this thing not right. And say what anybody want to say. I deliberately put these voice notes into the group because in the group, information media, you have 63 constituencies in it. And these are voices from all over Jamaica. That means if Era Council 1 didn't have a problem by itself, is all persons from Era Council would have voice. These are voices from every constituency. From St. Thomas, from Clarendon, from Manchester, from Westmoreland, from St. Elizabeth, all voices in the group. It cannot be accident. Something is literally wrong in the party. And that is what the attention needed. At this time, where an election is around the corner, and all we can be doing is running around begging the workers. The workers, them upset. And I put some voice notes in the group with a discussion in there yesterday because I just happened to come home last night and going through the group and see them. And I start put them in the group. Where the chairman for Era Council 1, Winston Ennis, have to be telling the people them in the group, so regardless of what, you know, have to vote JLP, because PNP can't do no better. I have no problem. Personally, me, Rosie, have no problem with the party or the government. I have problems with individuals who enter the Jamaica Labour Party and feel that them can get up and talk to people anyhow and do anything. And you as a little councillor girl, you must accept what they say and do. I refuse to accept and do what people want me to accept. And nobody carry me in a Labour Party. My father grew me up in a Labour Party. And I can tell anybody, I will leave Labour Party when I want to leave it. Nobody can make me leave Labour Party. So them can go out there and them can spread all kind of rumor them want, because me hear every rumor where them a spread. Me no like the leader, me no this, me no that, me hear everything. Me not come out there come tell nobody say, me love the leader for them for satisfy. Nobody can tell me nothing about Andrew Holness. Me fight for him. Miss Andrew Holness gain my respect and loyalty from Mr. Siaga. And me never tell Andrew when me I go out a street go fight for him. Him only hear when me fight. Him never pay me for fight for him. Cause me a loyalist to my party. And what me believe in. Me could have take money in the leadership race. I was offered the money and I don't take it. And good money to give them half of the delegate in a Central Kingston. When Chin did a support the other side, I'm a war with Chin for Andrew get them. Nobody can come tell me nothing. And if I have a problem, I'm going to talk about it and nobody can muzzle me. Because of that, me see, them I try to do in the party. I try to muzzle people not to talk. Mr. Siaga never grow so. Mr. Siaga allowed us to speak our mind and he listened. And Andrew is that person. You can tell the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, anything that you think. And he might not do what you say, but he will listen. But you have some people around Andrew where claim say them loyal. Where I go on like say them can talk up and them can do. Me well want them take me on. Me a talk for them take me on and them not take me on. Them a grumble. And a grumble enough for grumble. Enough for come out.
Knock your chest, Rosie, knock your chest.
Because me can tell you no now come through back door in a Labour Party and come put out the people them who risk them life and stayed with this party when uno go to college, go get on education and never go there for politics. The people them were in a politics, stayed in politics and learned the politics and loyal to the politics and loyal to the people who love politics most. Poor people, cause rich people not loyalty to politics. Anywhere the tide go, I did them go. And me, Rosalie Hamilton, born in a poor community, me never grow broke and hungry. Me never grow broke and hungry. But me born and grow in a poor community. And anybody can tell you the history when me have as a councillor, Edward Siaga alone have that history of serving them constituency, nobody else. So me nah make foot on a talking one talk deter me from talk about Buster Party where inform. Uno nah mash up Buster Party and expect people to sit down. And because uno intellect, uno for come in, come do as uno like, and people for shut up their mouth. Uno can't make me shut up my mouth. And TC, the truth is, the party is gone. And I don't know what it will take to resurrect it. Because even in my own constituency, that, you know which part me upset with, Andrew? When I go to the party after 1 year and tell them what going on in the constituency, and it a mash up. People like the one Delroy Williams. Him, if Delroy had taken a stand as the era council deputy chairman and Winston Ennis and the deputy leader, Desmond McKenzie, he might tell me, say him never know them things that did go on in the constituency. Nobody told him. I don't believe him. Because a whole heap of constituency go to them era council and talk to them about the member of parliament them and no action was taken because it's something the whole of them organized to do. To disrespect the people them and handle them like dog. And now election a come. The leader of the party have to do house to house. The leader of the party have to go up on platform and beg the workers them to support the party. That should never be. No leader Labour Party never have to do that. When the MP them done damage up the seat them, Mr. Siaga fire them, run them away. So you can stay the talk. Because me not talk to, and me you come talk to. You talk to me and make me address you, because I wait for you.
Slap your chest, Rosie. Slap your chest. And me, says Rosie. Uno fi come talk to. I play this, Mr. Morgan, to remind you that this was months ago. The division, particular over seats and over treatment of party workers, Mr. Morgan, has even gotten worse when it comes to like Marlene Malahoo fought, when it comes to Morland Wilson. When you come out and keep calling for resignation, as a PR person, these are the internal issues on a figure focus pan in our party. Think about how tiring it is for the Prime Minister. Him one fair around the whole country. Him one around the whole party. Him one a fair walk around the country and beg people to vote for him. The politicking that you are doing, Mr. Morgan, I don't think at this point it is helpful, because it's at the point where the party credibility has been shattered. So rather than addressing or putting on dressing pan the sore foot where you have, you can't come out and point out other people's sore foot. Of course, it is a part of politics to take swipe at each other. But there are lots of issues. When it comes to TAJ, we seem to be paying TAJ just like how we pay you for do nothing, or just like how we pay Anne-Marie Vaz, Tova Hamilton, Rhoda Crawford, and all heap of people we pay to do nothing. What you can do is address the issues in your party that would help the Prime Minister to hurry up and call the election. As time may run out of you know, Marlon. I'm really running out of time. The Prime Minister needs to call the election. The Prime Minister has full confidence. The Jamaica Labour Party has full confidence that they will be winning a third term. I'm running out of patience. I am really running out of patience. So work on things to help the Prime Minister call the election soon. The country needs to make a choice.
Investments. 500 million euros is a big vote on Jamaica. Consider it carefully. For any investor to put that much capital at risk, especially in a jurisdiction that is not their home territory. This is now what you call foreign direct investment. I want to acknowledge and thank His Excellency, the Ambassador from Spain, for that country's support for Jamaica's tourism. You mentioned that you have a portfolio here of in excess of 2 billion euros invested right here. So that's a second big vote, that someone from another country would analyze our risk situation here and say, I feel comfortable putting down that level of investment. Significant. I want you to also consider that businesses vote by not just putting up the buildings, because they can't take it up back. It's here. But they vote by expanding employment, by making a commitment to the people of the country for income from the investment. And I see where the Director direct employment would go as high as about
No devil no
1,500
long
during the construction phase and
Denny's
probably
in
about
not stay long, it's
5,600
longer.
direct and induced employment as a result of this expansion. It's a big vote on Jamaica. It's clear businesses feel that the macroeconomic indicators are going in the right direction.
It's all about convincing the people on a cloudy and rainy day that the sun is shining. On a cloudy and a rainy day, the Prime Minister is still convincing you that the sun is shining. The Jamaica Party, the Jamaica Labour Party needs a reality check. Not only that they're in a cloud crookland that they're going to win the third term. The Prime Minister is in a cloud cuckoo land when it comes to crime, the economy, how people feel across the country, how cost of living is affecting the people across the country. The Prime Minister is totally in a wilderness when it comes to that. Him not get it yet. And I doubt the Prime Minister is going to get it. But Darrell Vaz, you need to tell me how Usain Bolt wealth get in your daughter-in-law hands. That is the thing at hand, Mr. Vaz. How did Usain Bolt wealth? How did SSL wealth? After Nigel convinced us that it will stay put pending the outcome of any investigation, that has suddenly ended up in Darrell Vaz's daughter-in-law's possession. Is Darrell Vaz's daughter-in-law holding wealth for somebody else? And could that somebody else be Darrell Vaz? And if it's not Darrell Vaz, who else one think it could be? But, my people, remember to come back this evening. We are going to look at geopolitics, Jamaica, US, China, and how Jamaica falls into the debacle of both. And if you're new to my TikTok page, please give us a follow. If you're new to YouTube, please subscribe to the channel so when we put out a live broadcast or a video, you will get the notification. Mr. Umachano, 200 and add another producer way, 280. Come on, man, take the likes to 200, please. Those of you on producer Wayne, can you take the likes to 200? And those of you on GTV and Global TV Studio, can you hit the like button, please, if you have not hit the like button yet? And before we go, we want to say to our dear sister Sharon Bernard once more, condolences on your loss. Despite the difficult situation, we hope that you are staying strong, that you are keeping courage, and that you are focusing on the precious and greater memory of your loved one. Continue to give her your support, globalists, as she journeyed through what we all know to be a difficult period in one's life and in one's family. So let us continue to send our prayers and our positive vibration to our sister. I want to thank you all very much for being here this morning. TikTok, thank you very much for your support. And remember, at some point in the future, we're going to start hosting some live debates on the Producer Wayne TikTok channel. Thank you all very much for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support. Oh, that's sad. It was your only brother. That make it even sadder. But take comfort in the good memories. Take comfort in the good memories, Sharon. Everyone, see you later. Join us back when we look at geopolitics. And let me say to you, we must focus on where geopolitics is going. We have a mad president in the United States who is draping and drawing up everybody in front of him and give them orders. Jamaica has got their phone call. You don't just get a phone call from the little hands, Marco Rubio, for just nothing. Let's keep our eyes on geopolitics. Thank you very much for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. Join us back this evening for the People's Point of View. Thank you very much. Good morning and good afternoon.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.